And we start with the big stories and culminate the show with Open Season. Open Season is like a recap of our conversations for today. So the 4 o'clock hour, we will look at something happening at the House of Representatives, a discourse that, was not allowed to blossom, and we would look at it and we would ask if the representatives did the right thing. And then the 5 o'clock hour, I beg your pardon, we will look at the federal government's move to curb drug prices. Remember, the price of drugs are soaring and people are now looking for alternatives and all of that stuff. So you want to talk about that, and we'll talk for development, right? Every top of the hour from now up until I think 6, we would have news bulletins come your way, starting with the business news, then the news update, then the major news at 6. On that note, you're welcome. Once again, I'm Kaladaka Rubatabo. We're live on Facebook. We are active and interactive on X, and live on YouTube Nigeria. Info PH is the handle for all platforms. Welcome to my first big story for today. I don't know. I struggled before I made it a part of the big story, because it is something we talked about yesterday as part of the big story. We talked about it last week as part of the big story. We talked about it 2-3 weeks ago. As a matter of fact, we talked about it like 3 times or even 4 times in the month of January. And what is it about? It is the president coming out to say Nigeria will soon be better. He said it again yesterday. He was in Ondo State for several reasons. He met with the Afenifere leader. He also went to sympathize with the family of Akeredolu, the former governor, let me put it that way, the former governor of Ondo State, who is now late. So he was in Ondo State, and he made the statement again. And this time he said, see, I understand what you are going through. Yes, I understand. However, I take responsibility for it. I asked for the job, and I'm going to try my best to fix things. However, this is a path that we must travel, and we're not going to reverse the economic policies. We must thread this path, and we would eventually come out victorious, because there is a light at the end of the tunnel. He said that there will be restructuring, but not now, that the restructuring is being delayed just because there are setting foundations, there are setting things that must be put on ground first before we talk restructuring, or restructuring will fail. And he talked about ensuring that the socio-economic foundations are so stable and strong. Like, for instance, what he is doing right now with the petrol subsidy, or should I say the fuel subsidy, and what he's doing also with the FX. So once all of that are stabilized, then we can talk restructuring. He mentioned state policing. He said, it's been put into motion. Talks are ongoing, discuss, being had by the relevant stakeholders to ensure that the right thing is done. And he said, these are very few steps that they're putting in place to ensure restructuring. But for the uptime time, the president is saying, hey, I will fix things. I took the job, I asked for it, and I will fix it. Just give me time. Just be patient. We will all smile. Things are getting better, like I said yesterday. And it sounds like a sing-song. It sounds like an echo. It sounds like I could go on with so many descriptions to how it sounds. However, this is what I'm thinking. He is insistent. That means he's very sure about, a lot of us have said, this is a trial and error approach. The people in the helm of affairs are just trying this, trying that. So many of you have different ways you've described the approaches of the federal government. But the president is very much insistent, like this is another reiteration, and he's saying, I am very sure that we will arrive at the light at the end of the tunnel. So what do you make of this confidence of the president? I mean, on Tuesday he made the statement at an event. Now today is Wednesday, or yesterday was Wednesday, he made it, and we're talking about it again today. By the way, you saw the news report talking about the Minister for Information also saying, hey, be patient with the president, things will turn around for good. Okay, now let's quickly move on now to the next big story, and the next big story is somewhat important. I also struggled to put it on the big stories for today. However, it has a human angle, and I felt like that's what makes it amongst the big stories, the human angle. So you must have had Constance read one of the bulletins today about tenants begging, can I say begging now, begging landlords to be patient with them, just like the president is asking you and I to be patient with him. That the situation of things in the country is not so good, and so they would need some time. They would need some kind of palliative, and in this case, time before they can be able to, pay their rent. Now let's read a scene in the bulletin. Some tenants in River State have appealed to landlords in the state not to raise the rent for houses due to the increasing cost of living. Now, the appeal comes following reports that landlords in parts of the state have increased the rent of their houses. Some of the tenants spoke to our correspondent. Okay, so let's take a listen now. Oh my, I seem to not, I don't know what's happening. I can't seem to find the sound bite there. Well, let's listen to what some of the landlords had to say.
If you don't increase the rent to meet your needs for the economic situation, you're running deficit and your family will crying for eating every day. You can see the price of cement.
I be a landlord. Ordinarily, my tenant, I don't even discuss with them yesterday according to her country. And I make rent remain the way it is. From now June, say I go increase the house rent. Now with me and then discuss.
As a landlady, so I'm not like that. Hardship is everywhere. Not only the landlord. Some of the agents, they will go and tell landlord, increase your house. Increase your house.
I seen day for me, and so in day for you. I seen day for you, and so in day for me. I know saying, oh, God mind. Because if in day in mind, he will tell me. If in day even my mind, I go tell and say, and I will take a manage.
Okay, I think I've found the sound clip I was looking for.
Oh, you work here for my compound. They've been they pay 200, but now they don't increase them to 250. The bedroom they pay 300. Now they don't increase them to 350. It's 2 bedroom 800.
Landlord just increased my rent from 150,000 I used to pay for a self-contained to a 200,000 naira.
The 4 people here don't come as they do this road finish. Actually, for the content here is 106. Then 1 bedroom flat 350. 2 bedroom flat is 500,000.
A bedroom, 2 bedroom flat 500,000. Some house take 700, some 600, some even 800. 1 bedroom is 350. Third come 250.
Here in Roma Hollow, that contain 200,000, so taking for 250. And for 1 bedroom, so I take.
Now, as humans, there's certain basics that we need as amenities: housing, that's shelter, food, and there's certain basic amenities we need. But it's looking like these basic amenities are now becoming very difficult to get. I mean, listening to this story, you want to think in that direction. But while we are looking at rents and landlord-tenant relationship, the Association of Table Waters Producers of Nigeria say sachet water, popularly known as pure water, will increase to 100 naira. The announcement was made during a press conference held in Lagos on Tuesday. This decision is attributed to the high production material cost faced by the association members. We'll go for a quick commercial break when we come back.
Into business and sales, or offer any sort of service? Looking to connect with the public and potential clients? Then visit the sales and marketing team at our head office, AIM Complex, Kilometer 16, East West Road, Rumuekpe, Port Harcourt. Call us on 0809 993 014.
Three Nigeria Info. I am Kala Dakurubatabo. Remember, you can watch us live on Facebook, Nigeria Info PH. You can watch us live on YouTube, Nigeria Info PH, and we are active and interactive on X, Nigeria Info PH as well. Right, so I was just telling you about the situation of things, landlord-tenant relationships, and how tenants are saying, hey, give us time. Oh, really, you can't afford to increase rent at this time because the economy is biting deep. But while we are, talking about that, while we're doing that, there's still, other sectors, like remember at the beginning of the month, the Bakers Association also talked about, going on strike because they cannot afford the materials. Now we're hearing that they're setting divisions in that association. However, the Water Association, the Table Water Association are saying, hey, we can no longer afford production, so we would have to increase the price of things. We want to trace the conversation back to the very first big story where the president, for the umpteenth time, has said, hey, trust me, please do trust me, I will take us away from this wilderness. I'll take you to the promised land, but first we would have to go through this wilderness, right? And then you're looking at the situation of things now. Transportation. But by the way, Ipman is also threatening, some kind of strike which will further increase the price of petrol. They are saying that NNPCL is too high-handed, and they are competitor, regulator. They are everything in the oil sector, and so they're saying, hey, so when you look at all of these things, you can help but wonder, really, can I put my trust in the words of the president? Can I put my trust in the words of the governors? Can I believe these leaders? I don't know. But what are you thinking? I'd like to hear from you. What is your opinion on this very issue or all of the issues I've mentioned already? Let's quickly get to the third big story, because I remember saying that I want to run quickly. The third big story has got to do with oil bunkery. Let's see. Last year, we made reports of fire incidents that happened in certain parts of the state as a result of oil bunkery. Oh my! Now, the boys have somewhat redefined their activities. They're no longer using those tanks that they would normally use. Now they have oil wells, where I don't know how to explain this thing because I've never done oil bunkering before. But what I'm trying to say is the army is telling you and I, as seen in a report, that 40 oil wells were discovered at Rumuekpe. Was it Rumuekpe? Is that the pronunciation now? In Emohua local government area of River State. Someone would say Emohua again. Yes, 40 oil wells dug by these co-fire boys, and that's how they've been siphoning oil from pipelines, I believe, or from other oil wells, and they use it, they refine it, and then they sell. This has an effect on the larger or the macro economy. However, let's look at the menace called oil bunkery and how we have fought it, and yet we're not winning that fight. Every now and then we will hear that the Air Force is bombarding. We'll hear that, a joint task force, is going after the boys. Sometimes we will talk about suits. Other times we will talk about how this is birthing insecurity in the communities. The state government has done what it can under the past administration, The federal government is doing what it can to ensure. I mean, we've given pipeline security to private security firms, right? We've given it to, I don't know if I can use the word ex or former militants to protect pipelines, and yet we're still seeing all of these things happen. So which is the way forward? Now, we've talked about this before, right? And some of you have said, let's find a way where we legalize the activities so that they don't have to steal. But what you've not put into consideration is that if you legalize this activities of the activities of these boys, they would have to start buying the crude oil, which is the thing that they do not want to do. So are we saying that the country will give them the oil for free so that they can refine and give back to the country, and they are paid a stipend or an amount of money or a token, whichever one suits the conversation? Or are we saying that we should, I don't know. But how do we get to the solution of this matter? Because the boys are unrelenting. The boys are, you catch them here, they find another way. And who are the sponsors? I mean, that's the question we should be focused on right now. Digging oil wells, I don't think it's small money. I don't think the community came together and decided to want to, fund themselves to build oil wells to steal, crude oil. And then talking about the communities, the CDC chairman or chairman in the various communities in Emohua, even the local government chairman, Barrister Chidi Lloyd, or should I say Dr. Chidi Lloyd, what new measures? Because it looks like the measures that have been put in place are now being surmounted by the boys, and they are discovering new ways. You and I know we need to find every possible means to improve the value of the naira, and it can only come from local production. And one of the biggest production, or if I should say, the sole production that happens in the country right now, I don't want to say the sole, but I'm tempted to. Agriculture is in comatose. I mean, I could keep ranting, keep going on and on. I have to open the phone line, so I would have to stop here. However, what I'm trying to say is oil production seems to be like the main source for now, and if it is tampered with continually like it is now, then our naira may fall into some bigger mess. And it's not about, we had a guest, was it day before yesterday and the day before, talking about the FX, and remember he did say that the move made by the CBN against BDCs, against Binance and every other financial institution or non-banking financial institution are just cosmetic approaches to the problem of the value of the naira. So yeah, we need to get back to production. And if we have boys in our bushes, in our creeks, stealing the oil, then what faith do we have, especially in the words of the president, that there will be restoration of Nigeria to its glory days? Okay, let's open the phone line. 0817 923 0002 and 0817 923 0003. There is the additional number with which you can call me right now. 0817 923 0007. WhatsApp number 0809 0306 Send me your WhatsApp messages. Remember, we're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, Nigeria Info PH, and we're active on X and interactive as well, Nigeria Info PH. I want to get the numbers 0817 923 0002 and 0817 923 0003. There is 0817 923 0007. Muriel, oh my, I missed your call. Network has been terrible recently. Zion from GRA, welcome. Good afternoon. What is on your mind?
Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, good afternoon.
The comment credited to the president, it's so unfortunate that he's still talking as if he's going for campaign. The truth is, he has not get out of that environment yet. He thought he's still in the electoral period for campaigns. Somebody should remind him that campaigns are over, elections are over. He's now the president. Maybe he need that information.
But Zion. During Buhari's time, Buhari would rarely speak or would not even speak at all, and people then would say, "Oh, the president does not bother about the plight of the people. Is not considerate about what the people are going through." And now Tinubu, the present president, is saying,
It's better Tinubu don't even speak at all.
Ah.
Let him not say anything at all.
Really?
Because all his comments does not even show that he has a solution to the problem. All that he's saying is promise, and in law, promises have no legal binding. I don't hold you liable for promises you promised me. Look at everywhere he went to. Mr. President is always promising, we will, and your people are dying. Look at the pains and the consequences of removing the subsidy and the consequences of when subsidy was there. Which of them is worse? When there was subsidy, the people go to their businesses.
All right.
They are happy with the way life was.
All right.
Now you came to remove subsidy. Look at the anguish. Do you know that now we are even paying more than the subsidy we used to subsidize? I want to beg President Tinubu, your people are dying in hunger. Pensions are heightened.
All right.
Mr. Zion.
All right, Zion, thank you. Make up from Owerri. Make a welcome. Good afternoon to you. What is on your mind?
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, welcome, Emeka.
Yes, what I want to say is this. Who was Tinubu during Buhari's regime? National leader of APC.
Okay.
Were there any decisions Buhari took that Tinubu was not aware?
Leader of APC does not mean he was part of the government. I think that's where we sometimes mistake things or misconstrue facts. He was leader does not mean he was part of the the government. It could be leader but not part of the government.
But he stood at the position to give advisory role. Okay. As the leader of the party that produced that particular government. Now, Buhari has come and gone. We are talking of trillions of money, naira, that cannot be ascertained their whereabouts. Now, Tinubu took over, told us that he's continuing from where Buhari stopped. We knew how the country was when Jonathan was here. Everything was stabilized. Then Buhari came, increased everything. My brother, you are a learned man. We are all learned. When you increase tax, you increase burden on the people.
Okay.
And the government makes more money. Is it not true?
Okay.
But where the problem lies is that when the government fails to utilize that more money they make to put in infrastructure so that at the long run, people will begin to benefit. Then how do you tell me that somebody is telling you to have patience when the person has not licensed modular refineries across the country? When the person has no refinery in Wash to produce fuel in the long run, when the person has not implemented revolutionary policy on agriculture to make sure that food is stabilized in the shorter time,
All right.
all these things are not in place, and somebody is telling you to have patience.
All right.
I wish the media, you people begin to tell the people the truth and tell the people that are being deceived. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you very much. Idat from Nkoro. Idat, welcome. What is on your mind? Please tell me.
Kalada, you don't try for this station. If Tinubu knows they try, it's not more the patient, Kalada. Ready to use call this station safe. He worry us, but we will try to talk, no talk. Time for promise don't pass. Now time for action. That's just like what I said. Whatever this meeting Buhari want to, in the ask Tinubu, this is what I want to do. Gonna Tinubu leader of it. When Tinubu come in, I pray for Nigeria, make them forgive me. I follow vote Tinubu. Make them forgive me. Because of when the wrath of God will come, Thank you, no follow me. I make I think everybody forgive me. Because we didn't do they're very bad. Once is suffering. I go buy ball, one ball and 500 naira. Canada, you know good though.
All right.
And the next year, now I can't talk to you.
All right.
People are suffering. Let me bring the price of food down. Let me this thing now. Well, I believe God. It's what they happen to happen again.
Thank you very much, Ida from Inkoro. Let's see. Majority of the callers who have called in have pointed fingers at the president, but then there is the conversation about the uncovering of 40 illegal oil wells in Rumuekpe in Emohua local government area. Nobody seems to be talking about it. Yes, we want our leaders to do the right thing, but is there any way, or are we in any way also contributing, or is it contributing now to the issues bedeviling the nation? I mean, think about it. But I've got Christian, and Christian is calling me from Bonny Island. Christian, welcome on the show. What is on your mind? Please tell me.
Yeah, Canada.
Yeah, greetings to you.
Yeah, good evening. You see, actually, they take us for a fool. You understand? He's not doing anything new to me and those who are conversant. Yes, with what is happening in this country. This country is very, very, very easy when it comes to food production. We have them here. But they are not tackling this thing the way they should. When Buhari came in, he told us they have pyramid of rice. Where are those rice today? Why did he close the border? How can people just come and they just take decisions? And you see these glaring decisions are killing people, and they do this thing and they get away with it. In a civilized society, in a society where there is God fearing, people like that should have been called to give account. Where is the rice today? A bag of rice, 72,000 naira. When he came in, rice was not up to 20,000 naira a bag. Where is the pyramid of rice?
Christian, can you hear me now? Are you comparing the closure of border policy by Buhari to the removal of petrol or fuel subsidy by Tinubu? Is that what you're comparing? I want to understand you.
All these things has to do. It has to do with what we are going through now.
I agree.
Look, have you ever traveled to the border? Do you know how petroleum products goes from the border into these neighboring countries?
But that's why they closed the borders. But you see, that's why I was asking you that question. They closed. Sorry, Christian. They closed the borders so that we can have local production, and like you've just mentioned, so that we can also reduce the number of our petrol smuggled to other countries or neighboring countries. So, do you really think the closure of the border or removal of petrol subsidy was such a bad idea? And that's what I'm asking you.
Hey, look at it from this perspective. When you are closing the border, you should know, there should be statistics.
Okay.
You know how important that border, also the role it also plays. Food also comes in from outside, from these neighboring countries, into this place, especially talking about food, rice.
But they have not stopped the importation. They've just said go through the proper channels, because the closure of the land border, most specifically, is because people were smuggling. That's why I said, do you really think?
Is he reflecting today? They've not stopped. Is he reflecting? It has spoiled so many things now, and they cannot reverse it back. Look, this is what I am saying actually. Tinubu telling us that we should be patient. The problem of this country is not something he has to. You understand? Begin to tell us, be patient. The possibilities are there. This country has more than enough abundant resources. Everything is abundant. It's corruption. Corruption is the man of the issue.
All right.
The moment he begins to tackle corruption, you understand? You see all these things stop. Everywhere, even as I'm talking to you in Bonny here, corruption is the man of the day.
Okay, I've got to go, Christian. Christian, thank you for your rant. Thank you for your what you've done. But I've got to go. I've got Real Gift, who has been waiting for about 4 minutes. Real Gift from Port Harcourt Township. Good afternoon to you. Welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear.
Good afternoon to you, Chief K.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Just monetize the 4 minutes for me.
Okay.
Not tell me any other thing.
I will. I will look into it. Welcome. I'll look into
not
it.
to look. I don't want you to be patient. I don't want to be patient on that one, please.
Okay.
Well, GK. Okay, let me start from bottom. You know, is it possible, or we are told that if you want to kill a snake and you don't cut off the head of that snake will not die. Just leave a piece of food in the water, it will never become a crocodile. Before now, these boys, they were talking about busting of pipelines and what have you. But right now, we've seen situations where in a community, individuals have over 40 oil wells. Is that not ingenuity?
Is that ingenuity? I'm wondering. That's flouting the law. That's illegal.
Now, what is making them flouting the law? That is the question we should ask. Because in real crimes, I asked this question in the morning on a different platform. I've read, I have heard, but I've not come across where I was reading or I was told that in Dubai, in Kuwait, or in Saudi Arabia, individuals go to bust petroleum pipeline just to siphon crude. Even in Angola, I could not go too far. Have you heard or read about it? The thing is, why are these persons going into this, what do I call it, is it a way of life? And how come these illegal refiners are able to get this in a refined crude for so many terminals to use? That the legal refineries, as I speak from what I read, they said they cannot even access crude. You know, read that? If the Port Harcourt refinery that we were told that one of the reasons why they removed the subsidy was for that by December, the Port Harcourt refinery will begin to function. This is February. Today, 9 February, the end. I believe you are aware of that.
Yes.
And as we speak right now, some time ago, they told us that Shell has given them 600,000 barrels of crude. What is holding them to now? And if there is no market, or if there is no product, there will be no market, for goodness sake. The very government is the one creating the avenue for these people to do what they are doing. Which is leadership, please.
All right, then. All right.
It's really unfortunate.
All right, thank you, Real Gifts. Thank you, Real Gift, and thank you for your parables as well. Let's read some WhatsApp messages. This one says, I do not see light at the end of the tunnel in Tinubu and APC's government. The promise has been there since 2015. APC took over. I don't believe them. Nicholas Erasmus with that one. Another WhatsApp message says, good afternoon, Canada. Talking about Mr. President's appeal, I have no confidence on the programs and policies of the government, and it is worse at the state and local governments. They lack vision, which is a pointer to danger. Mr. Bright from Port Harcourt. All right, Mr. Bright, thank you. This one says, man of the people, good afternoon. I understand that when it comes to leadership, it is not easy, but how every leader, but you see, however, every leader must have a clear vision of what he or she wants to achieve. Furthermore, the first administration of Goodluck Jonathan told Nigerians to be patient. When they removed subsidy, Nigerians were patient and it worked. The second administration, Buhari told Nigerians same, it didn't work. Hope this is not another fake hope from the president, because this is what we always hear from them. Be patient. Okay, this one says the genesis of where we are now is Buhari. PDP ruled us. We used to eat and remain on the plate. APC came and carried away our food with the plate. Do you forget that Tinubu said he will continue from where Buhari stopped? David, you earlier said till Buhari's last day in office, he was still promising Nigerians that he will fix the country. I can't believe Tinubu. Let's see. This one says, water producers. Okay, this says, I take responsibility. Nigeria will recover. After taking responsibility, what next? Mere platitudes. I am not impressed. Water producers to increase price of sachet water as tenants in Port Harcourt speak against rent hikes. Kalada, a long time ago in Warri, in an area called Ginua Road, they leave the landlord and his tenants. Whereas his fellow landlords took pride in increasing rent every 4 years, the elderly Igbo man refused to increase his tenants' rents. So one day his tenants called a meeting and begged him to be a part. There and then the tenants begged him to increase their rents. The elderly father man was stunned. Guess what? He refused and assured them that they were his children, plus that what he got from them was enough. to maintain the property. He humbly took his leave. But here's the catch to the story. The tenants agreed and increased the rents by themselves. True life story. This life is more than what their eyes can see, especially cash. I urge landlords to display some milk of human kindness in times like this. Newton Ikire. Okay, this one says President Tinubu and his cabinet members should just stop all of these talks. My question is, what is President Tinubu doing with the money saved from petrol subsidy removal? Nigerians need to see a practical step taken by Tinubu to make them hope and believe in his words. I think President Tinubu is only buying time and giving excuses. The problems of Nigeria has conquered President Tinubu. And that's from Brightner, who's texting from OG. And I have this one. Canada, good day. Why is everybody always talking about oil for foreign exchange? What of gold, other natural resources, and agricultural products? Niger Delta lands are in such a mess. Not much is done for remediation. Where is kerosene for the masses' use? Bunkering and oil wells news is not believed. These people are only trying to make news. Tinubu is going to Qatar with his family for what? For Wari's type of gallivanting? How did Wari's 8 years travels improve Nigeria's economy? By the way, it's not a family affair. It's going for a business summit. Secondly, you asked a very good question when you talked about gold and other natural resources. But I've got Muriel, who's calling from Okrika. Muriel, greetings to you. Welcome on the show. What is on your mind? Oh, my. Okay. I've got Divine from Woji. Divine, welcome. Greetings to you.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, Divine, welcome.
Can I talk on the issue of the house?
Oh, yes, of course. It's part of our big story, so you can go ahead and tell me what you think about
Yeah.
it. Are you a landlord or a tenant?
Why is it becoming very critical and difficult for people? Some persons actually take delight in inflicting more pains on their fellow citizens. Some of the houses, or majority of the houses, you see, are not being renovated. They are not being built newly. They have been there. And then suddenly, the agents are the cause of this, not actually the landlord or the landlady. The agents keep going around, or they increase your house rent to, say this thing now, a bag of cement now, 10,000 naira, 7,000 naira now, from 5,500. If you take house rent now to 700, to 500, 600, they just raise the price the way they like, and they feel some people don't have choice, and they impose it on them. Those already existing tenants find it difficult to renew their rent. I have 2, 3, 4 who renew their rent, and they have refused to pack. Let's go to court. Court will give me 1 year in the house. So we should think. The agents should not think of their pocket alone and begin to pose it to the landlord and the tenants to increase house rent. So if they cannot afford it, what is to pay? If, for example, you pay 2 bedrooms like 400, somebody pays 450, it's manageable. They say, come and pay 550. From 350 to 450, 550. Where do you expect to get the money from? They are not increasing salary. The economy is going to the teenage, and you want people to cover that money? You will wait until you go to court, from court to court. I will say you have for 2, 3 years. I will not pay.
All right, Divine, thank you very much. Let's not. Frank from Other Judge, welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you. Welcome. Let's talk, please.
Good. My contribution is this. The people in government keep thinking that Nigerians will remain patient forever. It's getting to a point where you can no longer tell a hungry child to keep quiet. Palliative removal is a very good thing.
Okay.
But, subsidy removal is a very good thing. But what preparations do you have on ground before you remove subsidy? From my understanding, I don't believe in palliative that they give to government to distribute rights, share money, and other stuff. We are not victims of war where we are not working and then we cannot feed ourselves. But what we are saying is, if the government wants to do palliative, they should implement things that will benefit everybody. Not by sharing money to state government. It's not palliative.
All right. I've got to go. Sorry, Frank. I'm out of time.
Nigeria Info. We'll be right back.
The Gospel Faith Mission International. Mercy.